I'm Rita Cook, and I'm here with Penny Story this morning on our show, Politics and How It Affects You. And Penny is a political activist who lives in Red Oak, Texas, and she's on the Red Oak ISD School Board. Today, you're going to talk with us about, so that we can educate the viewer about the Constitution. Is that correct, or what is it?
Well, we're talking about the 10 proposed Texas constitutional amendments.
Texas, okay.
This is a vote that is coming up on November 5th of this year.
Okay.
This is not 2020. This is 2019. Next month.
Okay.
We will be voting on 10 proposed Texas constitutional amendments. That means changing the Constitution of Texas.
And what are these amendments that are under consideration right now?
Okay, the one I want to bring to light right away is number 4.
Okay.
And number 4 deals with whether Texas will have a personal income tax, a state income tax.
Because right now Texas is one of the few states that does not have income tax.
That's correct. We do not have a state income tax.
Right.
We do pay our federal taxes.
Exactly.
So if you do not want to have a state income tax, then you will vote for, you're either going to vote for or against each of these proposed amendments, and you would vote for number 4 if you do not want to have a state income tax.
What would be the benefits of having a state income tax at this point in our state?
Personally, I don't see
There are
a
no
reason.
benefits? Okay.
Why would we
benefits either?
Why would we pay more tax
Right.
to a government entity? You know,
Right.
that is so. Right now, one of the benefits of Texas is we do not have an
Right.
additional tax
Exactly.
for our citizens.
And I
So
think people really admire that as well. I know that it makes a big difference when you get your paycheck every week or every month.
right.
So if you're not, and I'm sure there are probably people that are for this, but I think that most people do not want to see more money come out of their check. It's the bottom line.
that's correct.
So-
We don't need to be paying more tax. Now,
Right.
proposition number 1 deals with holding more than one office as a municipal judge.
Okay.
So we're looking at this, is it constitutional, is it needed, and can we afford it?
Okay. Give me an example of holding more than one office.
Well, right now, a judge could, municipal, these are governments.
Okay.
So a judge could serve in more than one city government or so
Okay.
forth if elected by the people.
Okay.
And so the question about that is that does open up the pool of people that could be elected, and smaller communities with smaller populations
Okay.
need a larger pool to choose from.
Exactly. Like,
So-
let me ask you this: like, sometimes, like cities, some of the smaller cities, like Red Oak, has a judge that they, vote for to come in each. I think they vote for this each year, and that person's in charge of all the municipal activities that are going on. I mean, all the
Right.
cities around here. Is that what we're talking about, or is it a bigger picture?
Municipal
Okay,
judges,
so and
cities.
it's just like voting them in
Yes.
for the. So okay.
Instead of
Alright.
having them appointed always,
Alright.
you could have a choice of voting for them instead of them being appointed.
Okay.
But people you may not know.
Exactly. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So it is constitutional. It is. There is a need to open up a pool, and is it affordable? Yes, because the municipality will choose whether to open that and pay for it or not.
Okay. All right.
So then there is one, I'm going to hit just a couple of highlights for
Okay.
time. Number 8 is very interesting. Number 8 deals with, let me get to that right quickly. Number 8 deals with our bullion, our gold. Texas has a depository for gold.
Really? I didn't know that.
and
Where is the depository?
Close to the little town of Leander, going south
Okay.
toward Austin.
Okay.
And so that's a very questionable proposition, because the way it's set up, it could affect your personal holdings. Some people have gold of their own.
Sure. Exactly.
That they own personally. It's not. And the way it's set up is to, you may have to file with the appraiser in your county in order to be able to have that gold.
Have your own gold?
personally. Yes.
Is there like a certain cap on how much gold you can have? Before
Well,
you
that's
have
going to get into the appraisal situation, and quite frankly, that doesn't appear to be a constitutional situation where someone can tell you what you can do with your own personal bullion, your gold, your silver, and so forth. So we need to read that one very, very
It's surprising to me
carefully.
that something like that would even be on the ballot. I think there's a little bit of research we could do on that, maybe come back and talk about that.
Yes.
Because it's almost like, again, the government trying to take over what I have. I mean, it's like, if I have
Exactly.
gold, I have gold. It's not anybody's
And
business.
you don't need to have to report it to
Right,
an
that sounds a little
appraiser
bit,
in the district. So that's a little
okay.
questionable.
That is, I agree with you on
There's
that
one another one that's quite interesting. It's number 6, and this has to do with a Cancer Prevention and Research Institute.
Okay.
In the year 2007, the voters amended our Constitution to create that entity.
Okay.
And there was, at that time, it was allowed that there would be a state debt of $3 billion, and they could issue from that a maximum of $500 million each year. Well, now here we are, right now, with this new proposition, wanting to have another $3 billion.
Okay.
And so that would be doubling it. Now, the question is, do we know, as citizens, how this $3 billion is spent? So maybe it's good, maybe it's not, but most of us are not watching that every day.
So pay a little bit more attention before you take, before you go vote in November on some of these items. It sounds to me
And
like.
this particular Cancer Prevention and Research Institute is actually subject to a Sunset Act, which means that this institute is set to expire in 2023.
Okay.
So is it constitutional? Yes, we've already done it. Can we afford it? No. Is there a need for it? No. So that is something you want to look at. Do you want to give another $3 billion to a Cancer Research Institute? These are amending our state constitution.
Okay.
Is this a medical issue that needs to be handled outside? We've already created it.
Right.
It
Exactly.
can expire in 2023 under the Sunset Law. But here they're asking us now to give them an additional $3 billion. Well, what if
Okay.
it expires? So
Right.
there's some things to look at that.
Okay.
Let's see, proposition number 2.
Yeah, we got time for one more. What's the next one? What's the
okay.
one that you think is something that everyone needs to know about? These are important things to remember for the November election, because some of these things end up on the ballot and nobody even knows what they're about. So I think that
The
it's
wording
key.
on them is very, very legalistic.
Okay,
And so
all right.
most people read them. In fact, if you read number 4,
Mhm.
the way it reads, you will wind up voting to have
A state income tax.
a state
Okay.
income tax
All right.
because the wording is so,
So okay.
confusing.
Right.
Okay.
And Penny, we would love to have you come back perhaps next week and
Yes.
talk a little bit more about the rest of the amendments, and so
Yes.
that people, when they do go, we're in early voting right now already,
October
correct?
21
Okay, so we
begins
start- okay.
early
All right.
voting.
So before you go early vote even, pay attention to what's going on the ballot, and don't just go and just vote for voting's sake. Take some time. I think that's the most important thing to say, right?
That is correct.
All right. Thank you, Penny, so
Thank
much. And we
you.
hope to see you again. I'm Rita Cook, Penny Story, and we are Politics, How It Affects You.